Well, hello, everybody. This is what happens to you when your brother dies. Your voice turned into. Sorry, not sure what happened. Thank you for the confirmation from the Twitchiverse, an angry young man. This is obviously last. So, anyways, last week was supposed to be a Jamila and Yvette week. We switched that in the calendar. I shot Jamila a text, and I have not even gotten a delivery notification, so I don't know if her phone's off. But anyways, it's I just figured I'd start the stream and hopefully I don't, you know what, people have lives and occasionally shit happens. So but this was not supposed to be originally a Jamila and Yvette week. This was a reschedule, but I'm like, I'm just gonna start talking into the camera. And anyways, hi guys. I just things have been fucked up. I figured if I threw on as much makeup as my face was physically capable of sticking to itself, it would be a deterrent from crying. It's done. It's so far so good. I guess I'm just gonna update you guys on how you know grief is going, and what I've been up to. Like some of you guys are in, like I've been chit chatting in the Patreon forum, over on Discord a little bit. Like it's super hard to human right now. Like I don't know how else to phrase that. Like it's like there are times when I want to just sit there and pour my heart out about Leo, and there are times when I'm like, oh God, I don't want to be around people. I don't want to see a face. I don't want to engage at all. And first, thank you guys who are thank you patrons for sitting there and just being super groovy over on team captains link to Discord, please. But like the Discord community that's kind of popped up from in here, like my God, you guys are just it's never mind just how kind you have been to me, like popping in there, like the number of messages that I've gotten saying, hey, in the last year we've been there for each other through X, Y, and Z issues. We've we've been there. People have been like, I've felt super supported through this thing and this tragedy. We're here for you too. And it's like it doesn't feel like people are telling me this like a fan thing, like, hey, we love you, like we're your fan. It feels like I'm being told this, like, hey, we're this community that's done this for all of our other people in here, and you're part. Like I feel like this community is kind of sprung up, and it feels really super supported. And Kiko just asked if I've been eating. I've been eating a lot. Mostly junk food. Like I don't think I've gained weight, like because I like my appetite is hit or miss. But yeah, trust me, there's you guys have sent me, and I appreciate this so much. I have thrown so much junk food onto my Amazon wish list, linked below, and it's like earlier in the pandemic, I put junk food on the Amazon wish list. A bunch of I love Cadbury chocolate so much. Oh, did I grow a new microphone? Yes, I hatched it myself. This one, it hurt very much coming out of my vagina, but I hope the sound on this is good. I feel like because the last one seemed to be having some issues with sound, so got this one seemed pretty well reviewed for not costing an arm and a leg. It's let me know how this one sounds for you guys. I tested it out with Audacity; it seemed okay. Anyways, yeah. It's anyways back to the question. Oh, glad to hear the sound is good. But yeah, what was I? Oh yeah, eating. Yeah, you guys earlier in the pandemic, you guys sent so much candy, which was super appreciated because like I was, I did not want to leave the house, and I wasn't gonna, like if I one of my things on my daily routine used to be walking the dog around, the neighborhood. Not that I stopped walking the dog, but I would take the dog, walk to one of the little neighborhood stores, one of the little like I think it was the neighborhood liquor store, tiny little corner liquor store. Go in, get like that was I would allow myself like part of the thing was I'm like I can get a bag of candy, but I gotta walk to go get it, and that was a part of my day. And then they put up a sign that no pets were allowed when COVID started. And that, also I didn't want to interact with people because fucking COVID. And like that took away the, anyway, so you guys started sending candy all the time, which was great. But like I shared that candy a lot. Like most of the time it was like, there was a one point where I had like a stack of 3 fucking boxes of, Haribo gummy bears, like, because you guys are just wonderful. Like I put a comment on them, these are my husband's favorite, because they are. Like it's the most of those my husband ate. Like I think I got out of 36 bags of them, I might have had 3. Just thank you guys so much. But like those, I live in I live in a Victorian mansion that's kind of a commune. I have 11 housemates, and whenever you guys have sent candy, until the last month, I have shared it with everyone. But like, no, this month I've basically, like, whenever has piqued my appetite, because there have been days where it's like I need to force food down because I can't take my medication for my headaches without food. It's just like a hyper palatable food is super helpful. So like the fact that there's been so much candy and junk food sent has been really, like, I know it's not optimal, but it's gotten me through this. So it's been super helpful. But no, I'm eating. I'm about the same weight that I was, a month ago. I don't think I've lost or gained. It's, if anything, like, I might bloat a day, I might go down a day with the ingestion of I've been eating so many nacho fries. Like, this is because the go-to has become, like, if you live in LA, my go-to, I don't feel like cooking and I need something super palatable, is Man versus Fries. They're SoCal nacho fries. Oh my God. Like, it's just a plate of hyper seasoned, like, everything you want on a plate of nachos, just on fries. Just, it's like, if you want your grim joke of the day, I'm using that to attempt to meet up with my brother sooner than later. Anyways, so yeah, they're just lots of calories in that one. Delicious though, super fucking delicious. Man versus Fries. That's what I've been like. There are days when I'm like, I just don't have the energy. Like, I'm probably gonna write about this eventually. Like, there are things about thank you for the comment, Serial 960. I'm glad you're enjoying the content. Yeah, it's the arteries. I feel like my arteries harden every time I look at them, but it's like I'll get through. Like, my husband, he's 6'2", broad-shouldered, strong dude. He'll like bust through he'll bust through a full order of this in one sitting. I'll get through less than half of it for a meal, and then go back like later. I'll get through like less than a corner of the thing. Then later on in the night, I'll get through a little bit more, and the next morning I'll go and I'm like, all right, I want like a few bites of this so I can get my breakfast, like my morning. Like, this thing has enough calories for over a day, and I pick at them, but it's so good. Anyways, Sci-Hubs is a stud. This is an apt. Pardon me. This is an accurate description. There's a reason I married the man. He's super fucking cool. Anyways, back to the grief thing. Like, it's been, I don't know how else to describe it. It's horrible. Like, everything else about this past year is bad. This is worse. Like, I never realized that emotions could give you physical pain like this. Like, there are times when I'm like, it's getting easier. Like, nothing gets better, because like there's this paradox that happens with time, right? Because you get further away from what happened, right? And it's like the initial sting gets easier, and you think, oh, okay, that's going to get better. And what happens is your brain fucking tricks you into thinking that, oh, it's going to be easier because eventually this will be over, because eventually he's going to show up. That's what your asshole brain is telling you to try to help get you through this. And your brain's like, it's fine, don't worry. Other side of this, he's going to be there. Like, a couple months from now, he's gonna walk through the door. It'll be cool. And like, it both gets better and worse. And I don't know when it stops being like if there's a turning point in here somewhere. And like the last week has been where it's been less. It's felt less acutely awful. And I mean, it's still acutely awful. But it's the first week where I've gotten through phone calls with my mom without us both breaking down in tears. And I mean, we're still like sniffling a little bit. Like it's not all the. Let me rephrase this. Not all the phone calls are without tears, but there have been a couple now. Without. Where we've not been crying. Oh, Andrew, I'm so sorry. We're feeling the same pain right now. My brother died super suddenly. We didn't expect it at all, but it's like a piece of you is ripped off. And also I've learned something over the years from being a public figure and having to do speaking in public. If you're about to cry and you really, really need not to, or if you're really trying not to, clench your butthole. Clench your booty hole. It sucks the tears back in. I'm doing it right now because it's just, it's hard. But yeah, it's free hugs. And by the way, BTW, there is a wonderful supportive community over on our Discord server. You don't have to be a patron to join. There's a Patreon channel that I tend to pop into more often than the general channels over on Discord. But if you are, it's anyone can go and join. It's my team captains. Please link over to Discord. I'm just Ryan Akiko getting there and just link to people need to. I'm just saying, super supportive community in there. If you have an Amazon wish list, they're just going to try to buy you things. I'm the most wonderful people on the planet are in this chat right now. Like, I don't know how I got this lucky is to have all of y'all around me during this Jason Monahan public speaking in Kegels. No, yeah, like now you guys are all going to know that if you ever come to see me speaking and there's like a particularly emotional moment during the speak where like my voice cracks, you're going to know that the way I got through that is by squeezing my asshole. Oh yeah. You're welcome, or I'm sorry. But like there are things right now that like I'm you get through some things by trying to not think about them, and you get through some things by trying to look at the pictures more, and it's a combination of stuff. And like here's I'm gonna show you some of the stuff that just got set up. So like here's my little corner, and it's been like a slow slog of setting up the office, right? Because we've been we've been cleaning up, and like the couple weeks that I took off right after he died and before we went to Kansas, I just went through and, finished the painting job that had been kind of slow going. And then, we came back from Kansas and I came back with a bunch of my brother's stuff because like, that's what you do is you put someone's stuff into boxes and you split it up between family members and, you figure out what someone, yeah, my hair is getting long and it's super weird. Like it's when you stop cutting it, it just keeps growing. It's very it's starting to annoy me, but also I realize when it's bugging me, I can put it up. But it's weirdly healthy right now. I've been taking good care of it, and I haven't dyed it. But I'm starting to get grays. I actually like it. Anyways, came back, ton of his stuff, and like. I just hung. I'm just going to show you this. First I want to show you one thing. Now, some of you guys are going to think this is weird, and I don't. Let's see. I want to read this from Andrew. I'm just going to put it on the screen. I found it helps to talk about it, but I'm not going to lie. Grief is an asshole and will sneak up on you when you thought it was good. Definitely sorry for your life. Yeah, I mean, I am 1,000% with you. Like I had my first bereavement therapy appointment on Friday, and I sincerely hope that you have a lot of support, that you have a good support system around you. Like I don't know what your relationship was like with your brother, but like my brother and I were, it's like we weren't on the phone every day, but like we didn't have any secrets from each other. We were close, like we knew each other. We were siblings. There's no, yeah. He was the human I shared DNA with. It's just Anyways, but like, it feels like a piece of you is just ripped off, and you're not sure who you are anymore. And it's like somebody dies who hold on, butthole clenching. Someone dies who you went to school with, who you knew from work, who, whatever, who you maybe see, from social media. And I mean, I'm not saying this to downplay these relationships, right? Because these relationships are important, and we value these people. But somebody dies who is not someone who like shaped who you are, who you shaped who they are, and they die once in your mind. They, maybe a couple times when like when it's like, oh man, I would have seen them at this event. Oh man, I would have liked to have talked to them about this. A sibling dies, a parent dies, someone who is in your life in a way that is so inextricable you don't even know how to explain it. They die 1,000 times. They die again every single day when someone mentions it, when there is a mention of anything that you would have talked to them about. They die again. Like my brother and his wife met at a Harry Potter convention. Like they'd met online already, but like they met at a Harry Potter convention. They, that's always gonna, it's anything Harry Potter's gonna, remind me of my brother. It's like he could look at a field full of just grass and clovers and could instantly pick out 4-leaf clovers. And my mom and I, the other day, like mom was in the backyard and she just looked at a clover patch, and it's just, she said the thing that like started the crying from that was, it was just, she plopped down to try to find clovers. And of course, neither of us have ever been able to do it. And we're like, how the fuck? How? Because he was just crazy talented like that. There was a thing that that his artistic brain could do. He could just see things. And one of them was 4-leaf clovers. And thinking about that as a thing that just, make you cry, because that's the thing that's gone. Like the other day, the thing that just ripped the tears open was thinking about the fact that it's not just that he's gone now. I said he's going to be gone for decades and decades and decades, if I'm lucky enough to live that long, and I hope I am. But there's just so much. There's so much that hurts when someone's gone for that long. And someone that's that close to you. And you're that young. Butthole clenching. I'm trying to get through this. But this is why I threw on all the makeup, because I'm like, I'm not letting green streaks go down my face today. But also, I got myself some lemonade here. Hold on. Also, get yourself a Yeti. If you do not have a Yeti tumbler, I'm a big fan of these. It's Sai Mom has entered the chat. I'm super excited. Hey Mom, I'm talking about I'm monetizing our grief. I hope you don't mind. By which I mean I'm just talking about the last month. It's been a lot. But yeah, this is hold on a quick sec. Yeah. So how many times let's see, how many times has Yvette clenched her butt? My booty hole could move mountains now. Mountains. I'm just saying, my butt, if I could, my booty hole could heal its own prolapse at this point. I'm just saying, it's been good for me. But I don't know. Are there things that like, you look for 4-leaf clovers this morning? When I come home, we're just plopping down on a field of grass until we each find a 4-leaf clover, Mom. I don't care if we have to pick an entire field of them. We're finding some 4-leaf clovers. So, but like I gotta, Mom, I don't know if I showed you this, but one of the things I found in Leo's wallet, because I found one of his old wallets there, and like now it was annoying that he didn't have any pictures of me, but like who has pictures of their sisters, but he had this picture of you in there, and this is a picture of my mom from when she was in college, and I think it was signed to her. Oh, this is to her mom. So look at my mom from when she was in college. Wasn't she a fucking adorable? Well, come on, fucking focus on that thing. Come on, you can do it, camera. Wasn't she a cutie? Wasn't she a fucking cutie? I'm just saying. Like, I'm biased though, because like I know what I look like when I had short hair, and oh, this is high school. Shit. Aw, Mom. But yeah, like focus, screen focus. Oh, she was adorable. Oh, there we go. Much better focus. But yeah, she's so cute. But yeah, it was the thing that there were a lot of things that were hard and weird and difficult about going to I don't want to say split up, but going to box up his life, because obviously his oh yeah, mom had long hair, mom had her hippie phase in college. Yeah, there were, we had to box up his life and his clothes and his, stuff. And like, there were things obviously his wife wanted to keep. And there were things that, it was like, what, and basically she's like, the things that were from his childhood and the things that were from before they met, she's like, I don't really have a connection to, but like, there were, and we just, like, nobody, the cool thing was, because, all of us, there was never an adversarial like moment in the sorting things out. It was all, hey, if you've got a connection to this, you take it. If I've got a connection to this, it's like, what sparks joy for you from what was in Leo's life? What makes you, what do you look at, touch, feel, smell, and think, oh, Leo? And, that's how things were split. Like, and he was also a really brilliant artist, and there were a handful of paintings that were framed, like that we just basically said, all right, we're each taking one. So one of them we're going to is at, I can't wait for it to be shipped over here so you guys can see. Oh, I might have a picture of it in here. Let me show that to you guys, because it's just it's beautiful and you guys should see his art. But one thing I can show you for now, because he could just like hand carve anything, and he would go to Harry Potter conventions and basically pay his entire trip by selling these wands that he'd hand turned, like just with a pocket knife. Like, he had ones that were like perfect spirals. Fucking look at this. It's just, what? Like, that's, and I mean, there were only a handful of them left at the house, and I grabbed the one that I was like, this one hadn't finished being sanded down. This one hadn't, yeah, hand carved. He used to just make these. He was just that, like I said, he could pick up, he could carve, he could make, he could whatever. And there were some that, like, my mom has the most beautiful one he ever made. It's this perfect, like, double, like, twisted spiral thing. I don't, oh, dude, his pics of being Harry Potter. Oh, hold on. I had that right here. It's like I have the Leo collection at my desk right now. And it's not on purpose. It's just kind of, where things have been plopped at the moment. But, it's good for going through it right now, because I'm enjoying showing you guys who my brother was. Because some of you guys kind of knew him, some of you guys are friends with him. So, I mean, Sarah, like, I met when I was in Kansas City at his house. But like, I love this picture of him. Like, there, like, look, he would cosplay as Harry Potter. Like, isn't that effing adorable? Like, when I picture my brother, I picture just, that I picture him cosplaying, and I picture him happy. Now, like, a lot of you guys, I think most of you guys know my brother was a trans man, and it's interesting because, like, I spent most of my life, and I want to be clear about this, because I don't want people to think that I didn't accept my brother as a man, because obviously he was my brother. Don't get it twisted. He was a man. He was my brother. He was a he. He was absolutely the gender that he said he was. But also, I spent 35. I spent 30 years of my life with a sister, and most of the years of listening to his voice were spent listening to a much higher voice. Like, think about if you had it's kind of like he went through puberty at the age of 34, 35. And so most of my memories of his voice are of him saying, like, he had a very, very high pitched voice. Like, I have a very low voice for a woman. He pre-transition did not. So it's, when I picture him, I picture this face. I picture this, like, this delightful little face. Like, just look at him. Look at him. But I picture a much higher pitched, or I hear a much higher pitched voice, and all the different little, like, I think most siblings have weird series of noises and gestures and funny things they do. And there are like I've posted them before, the facial expressions that like our faces match in each other, and like those are things that just are gone. But I, it's those were there, whether those were there before he transitioned, and those were there after he transitioned. So it was it's he was just whether he before he was he was just Leo, and it didn't matter. It didn't matter what which gender he was. He was him, and he was so much happier post transition because he was who he was supposed to be. So I just want to read this comment from Ryan before it gets off my screen. Trans people would do well. Hold on. Trans people would do well to remember that we are not the only ones who transition. Everyone around us transitions their relationship with us, and it's like I want to. It's I don't want to whatchamacallit, what's the phrase I want to say? Like I it's I don't want to center the anyone's transition on other people's relationship to a transition, obviously, because the main transition is that person's relationship with the world around them. But like there were minor things, like the major thing that changed in my relationship with my brother when he transitioned, like, and this was the only big thing that I found, because like our relationship got better because he was happier. Like I wanted to hang out with them more. We lived in different parts of the country, but he was easier to hang out with because he was happier. Like all the things that made him miserable were, a lot of he was in therapy for other things, but like the things that made him really miserable, the fact that he was a woman, or apparently to the world a woman, those were that was gone, and he was so much happier. But it's the big thing that changed in our relationship was that it was, we used to just we were sisters, and we would talk about sex. Like sisters discuss sex with each other. That's what you do when you're growing up, and you're talking about those things. And it was weird, like all of a sudden, like we would be chit chatting, and we'd like stumble across that topic, and it'd be like, this is awkward because you're my brother now. This is weird because you're my sister. And like it was strange that's how that happened. But like I heard people say things like, you mourn the quote death of a sister. Like, nah, that was never a thing that happened. Leo was still exactly there. He was he was the exact same person, just happier. Like there was no death of a sister that happened there, and it bothered me to hear people say it that way about when when a sibling or a loved one transitions, because there's no death there. There's just a happier life. So that's that. But I appreciate Ryan. I super appreciate, number one, I super appreciate you. Like if you guys, like there's it's I think that it is I don't want to say it's hard when someone in your family transitions, because it's not hard at all in terms of just loving and accepting the person. It's hard because you're worried about their safety. That's the hardest thing about it, especially because you lived in the Midwest. You're worried about people taking away job prospects. You're worried about all the things that society does to trans people. So that's harder than learning new pronouns. That's harder than keeping on loving someone. It's just worrying about how society treats someone when they transition. So no, I miss my human, and they just happen to be a trans human. So see, the person doesn't disappear, they become there. Perfect. Yeah. They're not, he wasn't a different person. He was just who he was always meant to be. But I want to show you guys a couple little things that were grabbed. Like I love it's he'd had, let's see, someone asked me once how I was doing with the transition. Let me just show this from my Mama Sai Babe Sai Mom. Someone asked me once how I was doing when he transitioned. It just made sense. It wasn't hard. I only worried about how he would be treated. Exactly. Like it was. I mean, like I got to admit, I was confused about it. At like I don't want to say confused about it because like it was his third coming out. He had come out as bi, then a lesbian, then trans, and I was like, huh, I don't. And I mean, it was like being, I just didn't understand. I want to say I don't. I was like, is this? It's and that was shit of me to not understand how that worked at the time. But as soon as he started the medical transition, I was like, all right, I'm on board. I didn't get it, and I'm sorry, and I'm here for you. But like he was just so much happier afterwards. But here's just a random thing that I wanted to show. He had this poster in his room since like the fourth grade, and it was I saw this in the like when I say that the family was super good at just or Jen his widow, and that kills me that that's a thing. It's I saw this hanging in the basement, and I like in his he had a man cave that was so perfectly Leo. I was like, could I maybe it's I mean, here's the thing, I didn't ask, but she just said, the last day, and I'm like, I couldn't bring myself to ask because I'm like, I don't know how attached she is to it, but like there was a moment the last day we were there, and I was thinking about it as she said it, and she's like, do you want that poster? And I'm like, oh, I love you so much, and I cried. And he'd had this poster since he was 9 years old that he'd gotten at a Scholastic book fair, and he'd had it framed. And I'm like, oh my god, like somehow this went with him to college, this went with him when he was stationed in the military in different places. Like I couldn't not keep it. So like that was just perfectly little Leo thing. Also like a squeaky toy that we'd had since being at my that always lived at my grandparents' place in Nova Scotia. The squeaker still works. But, there's just little things like that I saw that I couldn't, let go of because they seemed Leo-ish. And it's just, the things that you do that you don't expect you would ever do in the wake of someone's death are surprising. Like we were going through his clothes, we were going through, shoes, and it was like, we each, my mom and I each took a handful of things, some of them because it's like, that was, some of them because like, oh, it fits, this is a nice piece of clothing. And some of them because, oh, this reminds, like sentimental reasons, whatnot. And the weird thing I found myself doing when I got back here was, hold on, asshole clenching super hard, smelling his clothes because they smelled like him. And hoping that smell doesn't go away and knowing that it's going to eventually. I cannot clench my asshole hard enough. Whew. That was a hard. Hold on a second. Ooh, I have one thing that can possibly make make the tears vanquished. Give me 2 seconds. You're gonna like this. Oof. Just hold on. I also came back with his Pride rubber duck. So, but yes, there we go. But yeah, there were, it's one of the things he had was a rock collection, rocks, dirts, and shells. And look, it's, I first I want to clarify. Now this was, yeah, hold on. The smells are, they're one of the shirts I just want to take and put into a plastic bag so I don't lose that smell. And like I'm like, does that make me a crazy person? Like, is this the first sign to be turning into a serial killer? Just, I don't know. But no, there's one shirt that I haven't worn yet, because like I took shirts that were, that fit, that I like, that I love, that I loved wearing, that I'm like, these are functional. And it's straight, it's interesting slash strange to me, because like he was 5'1" and I'm 5'9", and like when we were younger, um is he like, we were both chubby kids, but because he got thin much younger than me, I started losing weight in my 20s. We never fit the same clothes growing up, like just never. And then as an adult, somehow my mom, him and I all fit the same tops for the most part. Which was very strange how that worked out. But he had a bunch of blazers that fit me beautifully, and I'm like, oh my god, like how? But no, it was weird plundering my brother's closet. Like, in some of the things I'm like, oh, this is functional for my collection when the world opens up again. Like, one thing I got was this really cute Deadpool shirt of Deadpool on a unicorn, because my husband had the exact same shirt, and I'm like, oh, Leo and my husband would have had such a great time broing out together. Just, this is like, I'm heading to New Hampshire in about a week and a half, in 2 weeks. It's so you guys get to see my mom in 2 weeks. Yay! I'm heading to New Hampshire in 2 weeks to visit mom, and it's like, I wasn't planning on flying again like so soon after heading to Kansas, but like, here's kind of an extra bit of tragedy on top of what happened. Like, last year was Leo's 40th birthday. As I've said, he'll always be 40. We had planned last year to travel like out to Kansas. Like, they had just bought a house, not but I think like a year before. Beautiful house, by the way. Like, finally had a chance to my first time seeing my brother's new house was to go pick up a handful of his ashes. um Gorgeous, like, beautiful house, maintained it so well. Of course, he, like, Jen could not speak highly enough of all the things he'd done to make the house into this, into a beautiful home. Like, cause Jen was a bit more of the breadwinner in Leo, because he had lupus and had to work fewer shifts over time because of the progression of the disease. And it's hard, again, it's hard to say he was in perfect health, because he did have an autoimmune disorder, and we still don't know the cause of death. But he was working fewer hours because joint issues and pain and whatnot. But he did work a lot to make that house into just this wonderful home. And it was so hard to see this place that he put so much time into that he's not going to be there for, that he's in a fucking urn for. And that was just no, it's no, Serafina, the house before and after. Like, I never saw them before, but apparently some smokers used to live there, and I guess there had to be scrubbing every last inch of that afterwards, or before. So I just, like, as someone who loves scrubbing that kind of stuff, I'm like, oh, I wish I'd seen it before. But yeah, it was hard to be there for the first time to collect his stuff into boxes. But like, the punchline, and by punchline I mean, here's the I guess weirdo thing. That's so I needed, so we, like, obviously Jen had the urn full of ashes, and it's not like I can go home and or it's not like I can go to her house and visit his grave, like his urn, his. So I mean, that's a we split a tiny bit of the ashes between Jen, my mom, and myself. And I promise I have a punchline to this. And by punchline, I mean a reason I'm bringing up the ashes thing. And reason I'm bringing up this next thing. Leo had this giant fucking rock, sand, and seashell collection just from everywhere he'd gone. Like, and I could recognize some of the stuff from where he'd collected it, because I remembered it from over the years. Like, he'd gone on an Italy trip when he was 15, had a giant thing of shells from that he still had 25 years later. Had a thing of dirt, or a thing of gravel, I guess I'd call it, from our grandparents' beach. It had rock collections from all over the world, a bunch of shiny white quartzy looking rocks that all and I'm like, okay, it's not that I want to keep the rocks. It's that I don't feel okay just putting them back to the earth because these were, like I feel like everything he touched was like a part of him, and that's a weird thing. I don't like, what is a person after they're gone? And I don't know what the answer to that is. It's are they're the memories they left in you. They're the things that help shape you. They're a lot, but like, I couldn't just throw out these things that were, and I know it's not like rocks stop existing, but like I couldn't just get rid of them. So I took, much to my wonderful husband's chagrin, I threw like 10 pounds of rocks and seashells into the into my checked bags. And so as a bunch of my patrons know from it's as a Kiko's accurate. Leo claimed those rocks. That's how you. Yeah, those were the rocks Leo said were good. So I'm keeping those rocks. But I needed, kind of two things happened. One, I couldn't get rid of the rocks because that would have been wrong. But two, I wanted to make I had his ashes and wanted to make a little gravesite for him, a little thing that felt right. And I didn't want to, I know there are places that you can be like, hey, here's some ashes, make a thing, make a piece of art out of, and I didn't feel right sending that to someone else. And I get it. There are professionals that can fucking do that for you. But I am an idiot. And instead decided I'm going to learn epoxy resin art. that was my big plan. So I'm just going to show you a picture of what I've been like before even attempting, any of the, before attempting all of what was I going to say before attempting to pour bits of Leo ash into anything. I want to, practice. I want to make other things. And it's a new medium. I used to, I almost went to art school. I was pretty good at art once upon a time. And this is a new medium for me, but I want to practice. I've gotten a whole bunch of random molds. And this weekend, I made some interesting stuff. I want to see if this will show up when I pop it onto the screen. Hold on. I just need to pop me off the screen for a second. Aren't they pretty? I'm very proud. Let me show these. Pink elephants. Pink elephants. Hold on, and one more. All right. I need to get better at figuring out how this thing works so I can just show a picture in lieu of my face. But anyways, that's I've been having a lot of fun with those. And that's but my point of all this is I wanted to, so I've just started off with stuff that you can, buy on the Amazons. And this is my first set of dominoes, and just look at how pretty these are. I am super proud of those. Anyways, but though I'm sending those off to a friend in my gaming group once I'm finished sanding off the edge and making them done. So my plan is over time to figure out how to put them in as a present on some of the higher tiers on Patreon, so that they're not I'm not going to get into the business of selling these because that's a whole separate thing. This is a thing for fun to try to get through to therapize myself. But my punchline, I wanted to make a little gravesite for Leo out of resin. I even bought tiny little My Little Ponies for it. But before I thought I was going to be, good enough at the resin to make something that I thought was acceptable, I wanted to practice and pour a bunch of other things. And I also wanted to do something with these shells and dirt. So over time, I'm taking all these shells and dirt and rocks and turning them into chess sets, because there's a mold for chess sets. I'm making designer and custom chess sets and tic-tac-toe boards and coasters and and trays and whatnot, especially the chess sets for our mutual friends, because I'm I would rather I it's why throw these things out when I'd rather see them go into a gift that's going to be beautiful and used by by people that that Leo loved. So I think that's a better use of it. So anyway, I'm attempting to and it's anyway I'm attempting to keep myself amused and learn a new thing with the resin art. And it's I've made a cute set of dominoes and a little box for them so far, and that's where I'm at. But I'm just trying to find ways to do something with what's left of Leo, I guess, that's gonna make it not just a pile of stuff. It's that, yeah, that's that. So Munch is happy you got the it's I'm super happy. It's are those were those the animal molds? I believe those are, yeah, the animal molds are super super cute. I was very happy with how they popped out. I'm seeing that message from Jess. I think those are the animal molds. But yeah, the ones with like the elephants and like like all the animals and like the baby animals. Oh my god, super cute. I but yeah, like if you just FYI, if you there's still some resin stuff on my Amazon wish list. If you send me something from that, I'll make you a thing. Like that's my litmus for if you're like, I would super like a resin thing. I'm a cheap date. Just but it's there's yeah. Anyways, oh yeah, the paw prints are so cute. I've seen so many super adorable like things where people put like little pictures that are laminated of their pets into the paw print ones. Like that's the thing I'm probably gonna do with a picture of my old pup Rascal and whatnot. So, but yeah, like it's the whole the whole here I'm gonna get a random new hobby was all just I think someone said like it was when I was talking about putting Leo into that like 19 made in the 80s mug. Yeah, resin the ashes into it. And there was something about the thought of like I don't know why, but it bothered me that the thought of keeping him in the mug. And I mean, as much as it was like, oh, okay, I can do this, I'm like, I'd rather build something that's just for him. So I even went to there's this brand that's like the world's smallest, and they had these My Little Ponies that are this tall, and I'm like, all right, I'm putting these at a little beach scene and making him a cute little like thing. But at first I'm like, but before I do that, I have to learn how resin works. So long process of learning a new artistic thing, and then making something that I think I can live with for you know for my little brothers, I mean my older smaller brothers memorial. So but also it'll be nice to see some of the stuff that would have otherwise, like, it's my brother was a pack rat. Like as I said to a friend the other day, I'm like, I couldn't throw out the rocks, and yet I did not want them either. So this seems to be a thing I can do that feels healing, and like like he's not going away entirely, even though he absolutely is. Like, you find ways to kind of trick yourself into thinking that's not the thing anymore. So I appreciate that, Sarah. Yeah, he's. Oh, I wanted to show you something that absolutely wrecks me every time. It's when I think about when I try to remember if he was proud of me or not. I remember this. Hmm. And I'm super glad that I don't like alcohol. Just super glad that I don't like alcohol. Like, I think I've had one shot because no, I've had I guess a few drinks since this. Like, one of my housemates was doing shots and they offered me one, and I'm like, okay, fine. My brother just died to my brother. I had a stomach ache afterwards, and it felt like it wasn't worth it. And then, like, because my brother was, I don't want to call him a drinker, but he liked his fine liquors and, huh? Scotch aficionado, as my husband phrased it. Um, but it's I it's he had like at the little like altar that they set up at the house, with the ashes and like pictures and trinkets that were very him. There was his last bottle of his favorite scotch, and I had a few sips of that with him. With the, at some point you're standing there clutching your brother's urn and crying and doing a shot, and that's grief, man. That's some real shit. But yeah, that's the extent of the drinking I've done. So like I said, I'm super happy that I don't like alcohol. And I just kind of had the drink to have the taste of it, and because it was like you get some like people. That's the thing. I was like, all right, I can't not have a scotch with Leo. Like it's you don't you want to avoid getting haunted. This is how you avoid getting haunted. So it's like this. My brother will come back and be like, "Why did you not drink my scotch, Yvette? Why did you not?" So it was. There, like I made the mistake of listening. So my it's here's how my family doesn't like we're not very secretive from each other. My mom, like, I looked through all my voicemails to see if I could find, because my brother would leave voicemails. And I went to find if I had any voicemails left over from him, and I did not, because I deleted a bunch of them just to make room for voicemails from business associates that I never wanted to listen to anyway, because I'm an asshole. But my mom, just because, if I wanted to listen to his voice, she went through and found, that my mom had kept she had deleted his voicemails, but they were still in the deleted folder. Now, I have an old phone that bricked that I'm hoping I can get somebody to unbrick and get some of the data off of it, and maybe that'll have some old voicemails too. But he, I will, I will ask his wife if Leo liked the Lowland Scotches. You know what I think Leo liked? Scotch. Was it a Scotch? He liked it. But where was I before I so rudely interrupted myself? I'm super good at forgetting where I was. Look, this is it's look, it's been a hot minute since I've been on a stream. You can't expect me to get on here and not forget where I am once in a while. Oh yeah, mushroom tattoo. I need to. It's voicemail. Yeah. So thank you, Amanda. But like, here's the thing. So my mom very kindly was like, she went through and listened to the voicemails, and there was it's not like there's going to be a secret on one of those voicemails at this point that says that, like, if you find out about, like, mom was like, yeah, go ahead. Like she handed me her phone and said, go ahead, forward yourself some of the voicemails, just so if you want to listen to his voice, you can. Like, there was nothing other than, hey mom, coming home, talk to you later. Like, I'll call you at this time. And it's like, I couldn't bring myself to listen to it for a few weeks. And then, like, after it was about a month out, I listened to one, and, like, the instant I pressed play, I regretted it. And I started bawling. Just, there was something about hearing the voice, booty hole clenching, that just, hearing him talking about, hi mom, driving home, I'll be, just having a date night with Jen tonight. So I'm gonna, I'll see you, I'll probably call you tomorrow. There was something about the mundaneness of it. Like, like he was still alive, and it was a lot. Someone just said you can put a tiny amount of ashes to tattoos. So I want to talk. So it was interesting when I was hunting around on Amazon. Originally, I was looking for urns, and I looked for a Star Trek urn. I found a Spock cookie jar, and I was like, oh, this I'm considering. But no, I did not. I found a couple of wearable urns, and I was like, this is an industry. And at first, I was a little weirded out, and then I was like, I will get not one but three. And I am wearing. And I don't care if you think this is weird. You fucking lose someone, you get to fucking sort that shit out any way that works for you. So here's a bit of my brother. Look, he was really bad at keeping time in life, and he's really bad at keeping time in death too, because they do not, like, powderize the ash. So he goes through this hourglass kind of temperamentally and slowly. So, he's a timekeeper. But much as he was before, he's inconsistent at it. But I got three different little wearable urns. One is this one. One is a Star of David, as we're Jewish, and the other is just a little. It's a long bar. It's very discreet, and it has just a little diamond at the bottom, and it's very just simple. If you see someone wearing a long bar like that, it's very likely a wearable urn or something of the like. But I didn't realize that till I had one. But or till I was looking into it. But yeah, it's just, I mean, when I say tiny bit of ashes, like you wouldn't know this was anything other than plain old sand unless I told you. But it was weird, but there was something comforting about getting this done. Because I haven't, I haven't finished, obviously, like I'm working Shana Tova. But there was it's taking a long-term project to make, like I said, the little memorial, the little resin thing. But there was a comfort in having him in an urn, having, a little bit of him in a resting place and being able to take him with me. And I know it's a pinch of him. It's not him. But I have to make that okay. I gotta make that okay somehow. And that's hard. And it's just gonna be hard. Like there's a lot that's gonna be hard. Booty hole punching. I'm gonna have an asshole that can deadlift more than my arms by the end of this. Jesus Christ. Oh wait, it's like is it the glutes and it's leg muscles that do the deadlifting like more than or I don't know, it's a complex lift, right? If someone like knows the exact muscles that do the deadlift, let me know. Mm. Yeah, there you go. You got him to go. No, there was a. Let me hold on. Give me 2 seconds. I got to show you guys something. I'm bringing you through pictures today. Hold on. I missed you too. Anyways, so I just wanted to get these out. So here we went through stacks of pictures, and of course found pictures from my college days too. But it was like a giant. Once upon a time, Gen Z, we had to do this thing called develop photos. You had to drop off this thing called film from a camera that like you could only take a picture once. You couldn't delete it. You had to just snap and you were done. At 24, as in 24 pictures. That's all. 24, and you were if it came out badly, that was too bad. It's like the 90s were so different, children. They were so different. Anyways, so I just wanted to hunt down a couple of these to show. So my brother went to Italy when he was in high school, which was super cool for him. I did not get to go on any such trip, but we had money at different times in our lives, and there was not money when I was in high school for any such trip. But I want to find. Oh yeah, he had like a zillion trophies for athletic accomplishments because he was athletic as fuck. Here is the Sistine Chapel of Jonathan Brandis, because if you guys remember, that was also like my mom and grandma just hanging out in my brother's room from childhood. Let's see. I'm trying to make sure I don't accidentally show you him pre-transition because I think that would be rude. There's no... hold on. There are a bunch of pictures from. He was stationed in Germany. I mean, let me rephrase this. I posted pictures of him pre-transition because there are a lot of them in which he looks, in which he's presenting masculine, in those. But like there are pictures of him in here, in a dress, and I'm like, those pictures are for family. So that seems appropriate. So let me find a few pictures in here. But there was, oh, I think I've got it. Oh, is this it? Is this it? Ah, where are you? There was a picture of him at the Trevi Fountain in Italy. That is, oh wait, picture of him doing push-ups as a tiny little wee little thing because he was always super strong. Go figure. Just going through some of these. Picture of us in college on his bed with our cat and dog. Or I had you cannot see the exposure in there, but as you can see, that's his room and Star Wars posters everywhere. Just effing Star Wars posters everywhere. Mop of curls on his. There's my mom holding him, and there's my grandmother holding me. Mop of curls. I super appreciate that people are just, dealing with. Oh, here's one of his pieces of art. So I don't. I wish I had more pictures of them to show, but like his ability to blend is pretty phenomenal. I believe that's the one that his wife is keeping. Here is, I think, the one that my mom grabbed. He's super into dolphins. Oh. I think this was him with his college diploma. Super little dude. Super little dude. So it's there's definitely nothing wrong with Star Wars posters everywhere. Like I am in support of that. Hold on. Just because she's super cute. Mom with our old dog Rascal. Give me a quick I'm like, I need this picture or the day is ruined. So it's also if you it's just because me, Mom, Sam Horn, and the World Series trophy, because we're those Red Sox fans. And here's the night where I got herpes. No, I did not. I did not. It's so Leo had a tradition every year that he would go on a Christmas run with our dog Rascal, and I just look at that face. Look at that face. It was just so cute. I, on the other hand, would have a morning snuggle on Christmas morning with Rascal with that same hat right afterwards. I was a tad lazier. Let me see if I can. I'm very annoyed that I cannot find this picture. He was. It's fun. In these pictures I found, he was my confirmation sponsor when we were, Catholic. And like I'd show you these pictures, but like he was presenting as a woman, and I don't want to. I think that'd be rude. But look at some of his early ones. Like he did the calligraphy on that box, like super artistic. Just yeah. Also, this was my hat from college, D-Lo, named after Derek Lowe from the Red Sox because I have an addiction. Also, Leo cosplaying as Harry Potter because of course. Christmas run in shorts in the Midwest, Leo's brave. I have Star Wars Lego everywhere now. Mom is a cutie. Indeed, Mom is a cutie. And Leo is a drama king. It runs in the family. Just see if I can. There's a super cute one of him pretending to be fly. He made a little broom, and there's a super cute one in here of him pretending to be flying on it, and I need to find it. Hold on. Where is it? Come out. Here we go. Just because my brother was a ham. Like it's weird. I am a talker to say the least, as y'all might have noticed. But like I'm not that much of an extrovert. I need to go home, hide, to recharge. My brother was an extrovert who needed to be around humans to get energy, and I'm like, I'll you once you get me out of the house, you can get me to chat. But then I'm like, can I go home? Like, but he was so organized and artsy, and always had his little alter o stuff, and that stuff like didn't change from high school. He like came out of the womb fully formed. It seemed just he was who he was. But here's, oh man, here he was when he was stationed in Germany when he was in the military, and just you were so cute. Like I love the Germany pictures because like I want to eventually go back and like trace his steps and go to Germany and see where he was and do some of the things he did. Oh, also here are my old cats, Mimi and Roger, and they were just super fucking cute. I just wanted to show you because because look at them, look at them, look at them. So the internet loves cats. Why wouldn't you love them? Oh my god, look at them. Leo took those pictures too, so thank you for going down memory lane with me on these. I super appreciate it. I'm also trying to find like one specific picture that somehow I've not found in this stack that I knew was in this stack, which all seems very weird. It was one specific picture of him. It's like this is like the picture that's literally like there are two pictures that were around it that are in here that I'm like, all right, it has to be just somewhere else in this pile. Watch me if I missed it. Oh, here we go. All right, so anyways, the if anyone can recognize what's behind, I know that you can kind of see a little blurry there. He's looking a little more feminine in that picture. I just want to kind of cover the more feminized. See what he's doing in that picture. If you can recognize any of what's happening there, it's like I said, blurry photo. It's one of those somebody took from a 24 image instant camera. He's throwing a coin into the Trevi fountain. Somebody got it right as I was saying it. Thank you. And when he went to Italy on that art trip, he's like, I threw a coin into the fountain for me. I threw one into the fountain for mom, and I threw one in for you. And it was so that we'd all go back one day. And I remembered that. And I told that, like, it was one of the things I remembered after, like not that long after he passed. And when I saw that picture and I told told mom, and I'm like, we need to go one day, like just as a, some sort of a healing. Let's trace let's do the things he's done. Let's see the things he's seen. And of course that made us cry harder. But then when I found this picture, when we were sorting out his stuff, it was like, just, so it's eventually there will be the, in the list of things I'm saving for, it's the go to, it's go on a trip with mom and the wife, and I mean Leo's wife, and probably couple of Leo's friends, and make a little pilgrimage. So that's a few years out when there's when everything's a little less COVID-y and Americans can travel again. But yeah, that's that's that. What else is in here? I'm trying to figure out if there's anything else that's worth showing to you guys. But I think that's the main bit of pictures that would be interesting to people who don't. Let me rephrase that. It's the main bit of pictures that are not that are not gendered in a way that I wouldn't want them to be presented, and that are interesting to an audience that doesn't know him, or that are not too boring to an audience that doesn't know him. But anyways, that's it for show and tell for pictures. Hold on a second. Let me put these back into the box so I don't get them messy. And there's also this set of super good pictures that I just showed you, the whatchamacallit, the Harry Potter one from. I want to show you guys the costuming stuff, because his wife, when they would do whatchamacallit, they did costuming, they did costume cons. Like, when I say they met at a Harry Potter convention, they didn't just do Harry Potter conventions. They went to costume cons, and Jen is amazing at costumes. Just fucking look at her. She made that. She made every fucking stitch of that. She's incredible. I can't brag on my sister-in-law enough. Just look at that. Made it. Fucking made it. But also look at Leo being adorable. When I think of him, that's kind of, it's weird. I can't get the in my head, I hear both his voice as a guy, but I heard all of his little sayings and all the types of things that we said to each other. I heard them more with him pre-transition. So I hear a lot of his sayings with his voice higher, but I also hear his voice more when he would answer the phone with him in lower voice, with him going, yo, but I see him, like this. I see him, like this with his adorable dog Widget. Just hold on, I'm trying to get this to focus. But oh, man, hanging out with Widget was super hard because just I wanted him to be there, but I just let me just hold on. One more little, like, you'd seen a picture from this costume thing earlier, but one of the things that Jen said when we were hanging out, and I knew this already, but like, oh, please don't let this close down. Whew. All of a sudden, this went off my screen, and I'm like, no, and I just, accidentally tapped minimize. But like, it's, one of the things Jen said, and I already knew was true, but like, Jen said, we never fought. And I knew she wasn't lying. Like, they never fought. They were just super good together. But, this little spark of a dude's gone, and I don't know what to do with it. So I'm in a lot of therapy. I'm trying to be honest with myself and search my feelings about how to deal with that, and it's going to be a lot of work. And I'm obviously doing better than I was a month ago, because that was, you guys saw me on that first stream with Jamila when I was not I was barely functional. I still have days where I'm barely functional. Like I think 2 weeks or a week and a half ago was like emotions go up and down with hormones, and it was like the day before my period started. I had no idea why. I'm like, why am I crying nonstop? And then my period started the next day. I'm like, there are going to be days when this is just worse and I have no control over it. Or like, your brain gets to a new thought about why it's going to be bad. Like I had not, my brain hadn't gotten to the concept that, oh, by the way, you just don't just not have him now. You don't have him for decades. And then I was crying about that for 2 days because my brain just wouldn't stop. Like, ADHD, my brain just kept spinning on that idea. While I was trying to write about polio. And it's like, while I'm trying to job, like I'm also dealing with all these thoughts, and there are going to be days where like I'm trying to, like, I had my first therapy session. My therapist said, "Hey, are you working out? Are you doing the self-care?" And I realized I'm like, doing the working out will probably help with the sleep. But then I'm up so late with the insomnia that by the time I wake up, I'm so exhausted that I don't want to work out. And at some point, I just have to force myself to work out so that I can break that cycle and fall asleep. And it's like, it's just hard with like the combination of headache, ruminating, brain, just meh. So, Jessica, it's functional, drinking some water, maybe eating, possibly brushing your teeth, showers, and real clothes are, I'm proud of myself. I'm drinking the water. I am eating somewhat. I have to eat regularly so I can take my medications to keep my headaches under control. I'm definitely brushing my teeth twice a day. Showers are at least every other day. I think, and like real clothes, I'm a writer. As long as I have leggings and a tank top on, no one's complaining too much. So I think it could be worse. It's just there's going to be a long road to get from here to whatever normal is. And I don't think there's, I don't know what normal is when you're not sure who you are anymore. Because a lot of who we are is shaped by, like we don't, it's, we all think we're an island. We all think we are who we are, without anyone else. But like, the people we have in our family, like the people we bounce ourselves off of, that's a lot. And it makes you question a lot of who you are when they're gone. And that it's like, I looked into, I looked at a couple of grief books, and there's like chapters in them going, who am I now? And I'm like, oh, so this isn't just me. That's a thing that happens to you. So it's a lot. There's a lot bouncing around my brain that's not science at the moment, and there's a lot. Like, it's hard because like I would love to just be mad at the rest of the things happening in the world right now. And it's like I'm pissed off about the new abortion laws, and I'm angry about the people that are like, let's overthrow, let's do another coup. And it's like I'm too tired. I'm too griefed out to to throw the energy at that. Like, there are days I feel physically exhausted from it. There are days when I'm in physical pain from this. But anyways, I'm doing what I can. And I'm trying to not suppress the emotions and try to just work on them and you know and figure them out and try try to journey through to the other side, not walk, like trying to build a tunnel, not a bridge over it, if that makes sense. I'm trying to figure out all the emotions. And that's just, it's going to take time. Anyways, I'm gonna pop off of here. Tomorrow will be the conclusion of the polio story. More than likely, as long as I don't, have another mental breakdown. As long as I get some damn sleep. But there's whatchamacallit, later this week, because I'm apparently capable of talking to a camera again. We should likely be having our monthly, and I haven't done this for a few months, and thank you patrons for not getting too cranky about it. Like, I believe a few months there was just shit that happened, and last month there was super shit that happened. We normally each month we have 2 patron exclusive live streams, and again, thank you guys for, like, I know you guys are just like, nah, it's fine, but also, like, I've had jobs where they're like, oh, you're 5 minutes late, get the fuck out, don't let the door hit you. Like, I've had every shitty job on the planet where people are like, you're disposable, you should be grateful for your shitty pay. So I hope you understand how fucking grateful I am for this, like, for you guys, for being able to come here and tell you about what's happening, to share this. So hopefully, if somebody else is going through some grief like this, let you know you're not alone, that all these feelings are happening to other people. They're happening to, it's like, it doesn't matter if you're, it doesn't matter who you are, these types of feelings hit you when you have someone that close ripped from you. And it's pretty universal. And you don't understand it, I think, in your core until it happens. So it's rough. But yeah, I super appreciate, let's see. Oh God, you said the company laid people off and then hired them back for 25% less pay, and that was the best case. Yeah, I've seen that happen too. Yeah, I worked for one company that, and it was funny. There were people that, when I was laid off, they were like, "Oh man, we survived the layoff," but I got laid off and I got a huge severance package, and my health insurance covered for 3 more months. Then the company closed a year later, and nobody got everyone that survived that last round of layoffs, they got shit. They didn't get even a week of severance. They got their final pay, but they didn't get their final vacation paid out. Nothing. I'm like, glad I got out when I did. Anyways, but that's, yeah, like, I've seen companies that don't give a damn about their employees. I've been one of those employees. And I'm just really grateful that I'm able to do the exact job that I love, and take time off to sort out some super horrifying emotions that I'm going through. So again, thank you guys. Thank you for all the resin molds you're sending. If you have sent a resin mold and you would like that to be made and sent, if you would like a thing that you have sent over, like, obviously they come with little, thank you, with little notes. I appreciate them so much. Shoot me a message and we'll chit chat about what you can. I'm trying to heal through playing arts and crafts. We can sort something out. Anyways, it's Amazon wishlist is linked below. Anyways, I'm gonna hop off here. Thank you guys for being wonderful, for giving me a place to process all of my everything. We'll get back to sciencing when very, very soon. It's quite soon. And Jamila and I will be on here together next week. It's just been like, last week we canceled last week very last minute, because it was Labor Day, and I'm not, like I said, I sent Jamila a message this morning, and I didn't even get a delivered note. So I wonder if might be their phones off, might be that when I changed the invitation date for last week, it didn't go through. But it's like, y'all know, it's Jamila and I will be back together next week. I think, given that I survived this, I'll probably be able to do the Friday live streams from now on. This is hard. Trying to not cry is hard, but I don't think I'm going to be talking about grief every single every single stream. I think that this was updating you on what happened this last month, and there was a lot of grief. It's hard. It's super fucking hard. Anyways, I love you guys. I'll thank you for everything. And for patrons. I will see you on the 15th. For any of you guys, I'm glad you like the eyeshadow. It's a combination of stuff from a Juvia's Place palette, and a really old whatchamacallit, Smashbox palette for a little bit of shading in the corners. But yeah, there's which Juvia's Place palette is it? Because it had some super great, like, if it's actually no, there are tons of them. Anyways, but yeah, just quick reminder: if you're not signed up for Patreon and you want to join some patron stuff for the patron only stream where you guys help me edit an article, its link is below. If you want to just send a one-time donation to help keep the fiber chip afloat, there's a PayPal link below. If you just want to send me stuff, my Amazon link is below. I'll take any of them. Anyways, I'll see you guys next week. Or I'll see patrons on the 15th. I'll see the rest of you guys on Friday. Bye, guys.